Boston, a city renowned for its rich academic heritage and vibrant research community, now faces an existential crisis as federal funding cuts threaten its foundational identity. The Trump administration's recent moves to slash financial support for higher education have ignited widespread concern among local leaders, educators, and students alike, prompting a reevaluation of what it means to be a city synonymous with education and innovation. For decades, Boston has served as a beacon for students and scholars from around the globe drawn to its prestigious institutions such as Harvard University and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. These universities are not just educational establishments, they form the backbone of the city's economy and cultural identity. It's the densest concentration of academic talent in the world, stated Lawrence S. Bacow, former president of Harvard, highlighting the vital role universities play in the local landscape. However, the recent federal funding cuts could radically reshape this dynamic. Harvard is currently under scrutiny for $9 billion in federal grants and contracts, leading to hiring freezes and even rescinded admissions offers across several institutions. Research labs are shuttering and international students are facing deportation. This tumultuous environment has caused the city to confront a troubling question: can Boston maintain its identity in the face of such adversity? Mayor Michelle Wu expressed the urgency of this situation during her recent State of the City address, stating, "Boston is the target in this fight. We were built on the values this federal administration seeks to tear down." The historical context of Boston's educational landscape is critical to understanding its current predicament. Since the establishment of Harvard in 1636, education has been a key driver of the city's development. Massachusetts consistently ranks among the top states for educational outcomes, a testament to the long-standing commitment to academic excellence that has permeated the region. The influx of federal research funding, which has spurred technological and biomedical advancements, has been instrumental in sustaining economic growth and job creation. With universities collectively receiving over $2 billion in federal funding last year, the stakes of potential cuts are enormous. The ramifications of the funding cuts extend beyond immediate financial concerns. Dr. Wendy Chung, chief of pediatrics at Boston Children's Hospital, warned of a potential exodus of academic talent as researchers seek more stable opportunities elsewhere. "Some will leave their science behind and it will end. After a huge investment, it just falls off a cliff," she lamented. The fear of losing international students who make up a significant portion of the academic workforce adds another layer of complexity, with Governor Maura Healey emphasizing the negative implications not just for Massachusetts, but for the nation's global competitiveness. In response to the federal crackdown, Massachusetts has joined a coalition of 16 states in a lawsuit challenging the administration's actions. The state's leaders argue that these cuts not only threaten local institutions but also jeopardize advancements in critical areas such as cancer and Alzheimer's research. The loss of funding could delay medical breakthroughs that benefit patients across the country. The Trump administration's demands for universities to address perceived anti-Semitism on campuses have further complicated matters. In a letter to Harvard, officials requested a review of programs that may fuel anti-Semitic harassment, leading to pushback from faculty members who urged the university to resist these pressures. This situation reflects a broader trend where federal funding is increasingly contingent upon political compliance, raising concerns about academic freedom and the integrity of higher education. Boston's identity as a center of learning and innovation is at a crossroads. The current funding crisis has profound implications not only for local universities and hospitals but also for the broader economy. As Mayor Wu noted, "It matters to us here because it's our economy and employment, but it benefits everyone in red states and blue states." The ripple effects of a diminished academic ecosystem could stifle innovation nationwide and hinder the development of new technologies and treatments that have historically emerged from Boston's research institutions. As Boston grapples with the fallout from these funding cuts, the city must navigate a delicate balance between preserving its storied educational legacy and adapting to a rapidly changing political landscape. The future remains uncertain. But one thing is clear: the need for advocacy and resilience in the face of challenges has never been greater. The hope is that Boston can emerge from this crisis not only intact but strengthened, reaffirming its status as a global leader in education and research. In the rapidly evolving landscape of international politics and technology, recent developments showcase the intertwining of economic and political agendas that are shaping the global marketplace. A series of critical events unfolded recently, highlighting the ongoing tensions between the United States and other nations alongside significant domestic initiatives aimed at stabilizing struggling industries. Elon Musk, the billionaire CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, has taken a bold step by directly appealing to former President Donald Trump to reconsider the sweeping new tariffs imposed on Chinese imports. Musk's advocacy reflects a broader concern among American business leaders regarding the impact of these tariffs on supply chains and consumer prices. The tariffs could severely affect our ability to innovate and compete globally, Musk reportedly stated, emphasizing the delicate balance between national interests and economic growth. The implications of these tariffs not only affect the tech industry but also resonate across various sectors, potentially leading to increased costs for consumers and reduced market competitiveness. Concurrently, geopolitical tensions persist as Iran's foreign minister asserted that the responsibility for progress in nuclear negotiations rests firmly with the United States. In a statement that underscores the complexities of international diplomacy, he remarked, "The ball is in America's court," signaling Iran's readiness to engage while stressing the need for a reciprocal approach from U.S. officials. This commentary comes at a time when both nations are navigating a fraught diplomatic landscape, raising crucial questions about future negotiations and the stability of regional alliances. In domestic policy, Trump is preparing to sign executive orders aimed at revitalizing the struggling U.S. coal industry, an initiative that reflects his administration's commitment to supporting traditional energy sectors. This move is expected to provide a lifeline to coal producers facing declining demand exacerbated by the rise of renewable energy sources and environmental concerns. Supporters of this initiative argue that it will protect jobs and stabilize local economies, while critics warn that it may hinder progress towards sustainable energy solutions. As Congress debates a new bill addressing the proliferation of deepfake technology, significant concerns have emerged regarding its effectiveness. Critics argue that the proposed legislation fails to adequately address the nuanced challenges posed by deepfakes, which can be used to manipulate public perception and spread misinformation. While the intent behind the bill is commendable, its execution may be fundamentally flawed, noted one technology policy analyst. The discourse surrounding this legislation highlights the urgent need for lawmakers to craft comprehensive frameworks that can effectively mitigate the risks associated with rapidly advancing technologies. The intersection of these issues, trade negotiations, international diplomacy, energy policy, and technological regulation, paints a complex picture of the current political climate. With influential figures like Musk actively engaging in policy discussions and significant legislative changes on the horizon, the potential for transformative shifts in both domestic and international arenas is palpable. As these narratives continue to unfold, stakeholders across industries will be closely monitoring developments, anticipating how they will shape the future of commerce, diplomacy, and technology. The next few months promise to be pivotal as these conversations evolve, and their outcomes will likely have lasting implications for the global stage. In a day marked by volatility, the stock market showcased a mixed performance, reflecting the ongoing uncertainty surrounding economic policies and their implications for corporate America. On April 8, 2025, the Dow Jones Industrial Average rose by 200 points, demonstrating resilience amid broader market turbulence. Meanwhile, the S&P 500 and Nasdaq experienced declines, suggesting a complex sentiment among investors as they navigate the effects of recent geopolitical developments, particularly the ongoing trade tensions initiated by former President Donald Trump's tariff strategies. The fluctuations in the stock market can be traced back to the uncertainty regarding Trump's trade policies, which have re-emerged as a focal point of discussion among CEOs and market analysts. Many business leaders have expressed their concerns about the potential repercussions of these tariffs on both domestic and international markets. In a recent statement, a prominent CEO noted, "While we understand the need for protective measures, the unpredictability of tariffs complicates our long-term planning and investment strategies." Such sentiments illustrate the delicate balance companies must strike between adapting to policy changes and maintaining growth trajectories. The impact of these geopolitical factors is underscored by market reactions. The Dow's increase can be interpreted as a temporary rally fueled by optimism that some sectors may benefit from protective tariffs, particularly those focused on domestic manufacturing. Conversely, the declines in the S&P 500 and Nasdaq suggest that technology and consumer goods sectors remain wary of the broader implications of trade wars, particularly as supply chains are strained and costs rise. These mixed signals reveal an ongoing tug-of-war within the market as investors weigh short-term gains against long-term stability. As the day progressed, the market's trajectory remained uncertain, with analysts anticipating further developments in the ongoing trade discussions. Trump's steadfastness in maintaining his tariff plan has prompted reactions from various sectors, with some companies advocating for a more collaborative approach to international trade. "We need a strategy that promotes growth without alienating our partners," another CEO remarked, emphasizing the need for a balanced approach in navigating these turbulent waters. Looking ahead, the stock market's response to these evolving trade dynamics will likely shape investment strategies in the coming weeks, as companies continue to adapt to the realities of tariffs. The interplay between political decisions and market performance will remain critical in determining the economic landscape. Investors are advised to stay vigilant as they monitor developments that could influence market stability and corporate profitability, particularly in light of the complexities introduced by trade policies and their global repercussions. In a striking turn of events, Elon Musk has publicly criticized Peter Navarro, the architect of former President Donald Trump's trade policies, marking an apparent rift between the billionaire entrepreneur and the administration's stance on tariffs. During a virtual conference organized by Italy's right-wing Deputy Prime Minister Matteo Salvini, Musk expressed his discontent with Navarro's derogatory remarks about him, labeling the trade advisor a moron and dumber than a sack of bricks. This confrontation comes against the backdrop of Musk's long-standing advocacy for free trade and his substantial financial contributions to Trump's political campaigns, raising questions about the future of their relationship. Musk's recent comments reflect his broader dissatisfaction with the White House's trade policies, particularly the tariffs that he argues are detrimental to American consumers and businesses alike. His brother Kimball Musk, who serves on the boards of Tesla and SpaceX, echoed this sentiment on social media, describing the tariffs as a structural, permanent tax on the American consumer. He further cautioned that such taxation could lead to reduced consumption and consequently a decline in job creation. The tension between Musk and the Trump administration has been exacerbated by the recent introduction of sweeping tariffs on various goods, which have resulted in a notable decline in Tesla's stock value, over 35% this year alone. Investors are becoming increasingly anxious about the repercussions of a burgeoning trade war, particularly with China, where Tesla has significant operations. In a letter to U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer, Tesla warned that escalating tariffs could lead to retaliatory measures that would further inflate the cost of manufacturing in America. As the trade dispute intensifies, Musk's government role, which was initially expected to extend until 2026, may be cut short once his tasks with the Department of Government Efficiency (DOGE) are completed. Reports indicate that Trump has suggested Musk will return to focusing on his businesses full-time, raising speculation about whether the billionaire will continue to support the administration's policies. This conflict is not isolated. It comes amid a series of market fluctuations driven by the uncertainty surrounding Trump's tariff regime. On the same day as Musk's remarks, the S&P 500 experienced a roller coaster of trading, initially rallying before tumbling again as concerns over Trump's proposed tariffs on China escalated. The administration's announcement of additional tariffs, potentially exceeding 100% on Chinese goods, has prompted sharp market reactions, with analysts warning that the economic ramifications could be dire not just for the US but globally. The situation continues to evolve as various stakeholders, including foreign governments, look to negotiate with the US in light of the tariffs. Japanese officials have expressed interest in prioritizing talks with the US, while other nations including South Korea and Vietnam are also seeking ways to mitigate the impact of increased tariffs on their economies. Musk's critique of Navarro and the administration's trade policies highlights a significant ideological divide within the Republican Party, as well as the broader implications of Trump's trade strategies. The growing dissent among influential business leaders like Musk could signal shifting dynamics in American trade policy as the 2024 election approaches. As Musk and others advocate for a return to free trade principles, the outcome of ongoing negotiations and the potential for further escalation in the trade war remain uncertain, leaving investors and consumers alike on edge. Looking ahead, the coming weeks will be crucial as the administration's trade policies continue to unfold and the impacts of these decisions are felt across various sectors of the economy. Whether Musk will align himself with the administration or take a more oppositional stance could further influence the political landscape and market conditions as the country approaches the next election cycle. In a world increasingly fraught with geopolitical turmoil, the Middle East and North Africa remain focal points of global concern. Recent developments highlight the ongoing crises in the region, particularly in Gaza, where reports of civilian casualties and military actions have sparked outrage and calls for accountability. As the situation evolves, voices from various sectors, including politics, humanitarian efforts, and public opinion, are coalescing to address the urgent need for resolution and support. The humanitarian crisis in Gaza has reached alarming levels, with reports indicating that Israeli military actions have resulted in the deaths of medics and civilians alike. The International Committee of the Red Cross has described the shooting of Gaza paramedics as intentional, raising serious questions about the conduct of hostilities. Gaza paramedics shot in upper body with intent to kill, Red Crescent says, reported a recent article, underscoring the troubling trend of violence against medical personnel in conflict zones. These incidents are not isolated, they are part of a broader narrative that reflects Israel's shifting accounts regarding civilian casualties. Political responses have also been significant. The UK's Foreign Secretary David Lammy condemned the recent deportation of 2 Labour MPs by Israeli authorities, labeling it unacceptable. This development highlights the tensions surrounding international diplomatic efforts and the increasing scrutiny faced by Israel regarding its military actions in Gaza. With each passing day, the calls for accountability and transparency grow louder as critics argue that the moral outrage surrounding the violence cannot be normalized or ignored. Furthermore, the political landscape in the U.S. has seen its share of commentary on the situation in Gaza. Senator Cory Booker's lengthy speech, which notably omitted significant mention of Gaza, has drawn criticism from various corners, illustrating the political complexities and sensitivities surrounding the issue. Meanwhile, the deaths of Palestinian teenagers and other civilians at the hands of Israeli settlers exacerbate the situation, raising questions about the broader implications of settlement policies and military operations in Palestinian territories. The international community is divided on how to address these crises, with some advocating for immediate humanitarian aid and intervention while others focus on long-term solutions rooted in diplomatic engagement. Amidst the chaos, there are voices like that of Noor Abdallah, who poignantly expressed her hopes of telling her son about his father's bravery in a time of war. Such personal narratives serve as a reminder of the human cost of conflict and the resilience of those caught in its wake. As the situation continues to unfold, all eyes remain on the Middle East and North Africa, where the convergence of political, social, and humanitarian crises poses significant challenges. The global community is called upon to support efforts aimed at alleviating suffering and fostering dialogue as the path to peace remains fraught with difficulties. The resilience of individuals and communities amidst these trials offers a glimmer of hope, yet the urgent need for action and accountability persists. Looking ahead, the developments in Gaza and beyond will undoubtedly shape the future of the region, influencing diplomatic relations and humanitarian policies for years to come. In an inspiring display of community support, Eddie Kaufman, a sophomore at Roanoke College and a Mid-Valley High School graduate, is currently battling T-cell acute lymphoblastic leukemia. As he faces this challenging fight, his friends, family, and former classmates are rallying around him to find a life-saving blood stem cell donor. The initiative, dubbed Team Eddie K, is working closely with the National Marrow Donor Program (NMDP) to secure a perfect stem cell match, which is crucial for his treatment. Eddie's journey took a sudden turn last fall when he began experiencing swollen lymph nodes. Initially attributed to dental issues, the situation escalated, leading him to seek help from his pediatrician, who referred him to the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia for further evaluation and treatment. Despite being a vibrant athlete with a promising future in college baseball, his diagnosis came as a shock to his family and friends. College coaches said they hadn't seen any signs Eddie Kaufman was ill, his father Brian Kaufman remarked, reflecting on the suddenness of the diagnosis. Currently, Eddie's medical team has identified a 9 out of 10 match for his stem cell transplant. But they emphasized that a perfect 10 out of 10 match significantly decreases the risk of rejection. To this end, a series of swab events are being organized across Lackawanna and Luzerne counties, inviting potential donors aged 18 to 40 to check if they might be a match. Participants can also opt to swab their cheeks at home and mail in their samples. The Kaufman family has expressed immense gratitude for the outpouring of support from their community. Brian Kaufman shared how touched they are by the enthusiasm of friends and neighbors who have stepped up to help. "This is a different kind of a team," he stated, highlighting how Eddie's situation has united people in a common cause. Among those actively participating in the efforts are Eddie's high school friends Jaden Carroll and Emily De Oliveira, who are volunteering at the upcoming donation events. They describe the swabbing process as simple and accessible, hoping to encourage others to get involved. "We actually hung out the week before he left for college and everything was great. A couple of weeks into college we heard that he was sick," De Oliveira recounted. Their proactive response underscores the strong bonds of friendship that remain intact despite geographical distances. The upcoming swab events will take place at the Throop Civic Center, where they will be open for donations on Wednesday and Thursday evenings, as well as at other local venues throughout the week. Brian Kaufman assured potential donors that the recovery process after a stem cell donation is rapid, similar to that of a plasma donation, with most donors returning to work the next day. Eddie Kaufman's story not only highlights the urgent need for a stem cell donor but also serves as a reminder of the strength found in community support during times of crisis. As the events unfold, the Kaufman family remains hopeful that their collective efforts will yield the perfect match not only for Eddie but also for others in need of stem cell transplants. The community's dedication to this cause shines a light on the power of unity and compassion in confronting life's toughest challenges. With ongoing efforts to raise awareness and increase donor registrations, there is optimism that Eddie's fight against leukemia can inspire others to join the cause.